So let's talk to Work and Pension Secretary Pat McFadden, with thanks to Amanda, of course, cutting her off there. Pat McFadden, very good morning to you. Thanks so much for talking to us. I wonder what you make of what went on in Westminster yesterday and the Tory leader Kemi Badenoch's sacking of her Shadow Justice Secretary Robert Jenrick, kicking him out of the parliamentary party as well. Strong leadership in action, do you think?
Look, I think what we saw yesterday was just another episode in the chaos and division that's been going on the right of British politics for many years. The only difference is it's now happening over two political parties rather than one. And we saw during the Tory years in office the amount of political energy that sucked up, the huge distraction factor for the government of the day when they were in office. And it's left us with a pile of unanswered problems and things that weren't dealt with, which we're now having to work through as the Labour government. So I think we've been in this movie for some time. I think it will continue. I don't think yesterday is the end of it. And while they are distracted by this, and while it continues to cause chaos on the right, the government has to get on with the job of improving the economy, improving public services, and making sure that Britain is strongly defended in a fast-changing world.
You're saying that you're doing the job of basically clearing up the Tories' mess, but Robert Jenrick's point on leaving and joining Reform was it's not just the Tories who've made a mess, it's Labour as well. He said both parties are responsible for breaking Britain.
Well, look, I think we're making progress. We've got economic growth higher than expected. We have falling waiting lists. Amid all the drama and all the counter-accusation and accusation that's going on the right, these are things that will make a difference to people's lives. You know, I'm announcing today changes in the benefit system. That's a system that needs reformed. In fact, Robert Jenrick said yesterday the Tories had left it unreformed, and I see that every day as the Secretary of State for Work and Pensions. So let that drama continue. Tory MPs will now be thinking, do I join Reform? Do I stick? Do I twist? If you're a One Nation Tory, you must be wondering, who can I vote for? Because you've got Reform on the one hand, you have a Tory party that's a pale echo of Reform, and a group of MPs in Parliament who can't really decide which party they belong to. Let that continue to play out. Meanwhile, the government is getting on with trying to secure economic growth, improve the public services, and make sure that Britain plays its part on the international stage and defends the country in a world which is changing very, very fast. And that needs the full attention of our government.
You say that Tory MPs will be weighing up which party they want to be. And I mean, that could be true of Labour MPs as well, couldn't it? I mean, Nigel Farage was very keen to stress that it's not just Tories who have joined them. He says that next week there's going to be a Labour defection, a well-known Labour figure, he says. How worried are you about that?
Well, I heard him say that, and I don't know if that will happen or not, but I have noticed that there's now, I think, about 20 or more Tory MPs or former MPs who have defected to Reform. If there is someone on the Labour side who does this, they will be joining a right-wing project. This is a project that doesn't believe in the NHS. Mr Farage has made it clear he doesn't believe in the model of the NHS. It's a project that continually parrots President Putin's line on matters of national security and would pose a grave risk to the national security of this country. So it is a right-wing project, and we as a centre-left government will stand against it, both during the rest of this Parliament and at the next election, whenever that comes.
I just want to ask you about council elections, because the deadline for councils to request a deferral of their election this summer passed last night. 25 councils have asked for one, 19 of them are Labour-led. Nigel Farage says this makes Britain a banana republic. Does he have a point?
No, he doesn't. This is about local government reorganisation, and we gave councils the opportunity to apply for a delay if they were subject to local government reorganisation, without which it would have meant we'd be having elections for councils that might not even exist in a year's time. and councils of different political parties have applied for this, and that is what's playing out at the moment.
You're announcing today that convicted criminals who are serving their sentence, serious criminals who are serving their sentences in hospitals rather than prisons, are going to lose their benefits. Some people might be surprised that they were able to claim them now. So tell us a little bit about this loophole that you say you're closing.
Well, I think many of your viewers would be surprised to hear that someone who, for example, has killed someone and is sentenced to a psychiatric hospital can continue to receive universal credit. And I pay tribute to families like the O'Malley Kumar family and others who've raised this issue with me. It's not always been a feature of our benefit system. It doesn't apply to some benefits like PIP and so on, but in recent years it has applied to universal credit. It was raised with previous Secretaries of State. They didn't change it. I believe we should change this. People should get their mental health treatment in a psychiatric hospital, but I don't see why someone should build up a cachet of thousands of pounds in universal credit, paid month on month, year on year, regardless of the length of their sentence. And that's what we intend to change. So we will engage with interested voices on this, with victims and with other voices, but I pay tribute to the families who've raised this issue with the government in recent months.
And those families obviously welcome any change, but give us an idea of how big an issue is this? I mean, what is the current bill for those payouts? It's clear that these criminals were eligible for the payouts, but how many were claiming them?
Well, it's probably better to think about this as an individual. An individual could, depending on their condition, be getting £400 or £800 a month. It will apply to a couple of hundred people in the system. So it's not a huge issue in terms of benefit expenditure, but I think it is an important issue in terms of justice and in terms of equal treatment between people who've committed very serious violent crimes, whether they are in a psychiatric hospital or a prison. If someone committed such a crime and are sentenced to a prison sentence, they don't get access to these benefits. And so we're trying to equalise that situation. And that provides an important measure of justice to the families of victims of some terrible crimes.
A very quick word before I let you go. A lot of debate about whether or not Britain should adopt a similar ban on social media for under 16s as Australia has brought in. What's your personal view on that?
Well, I'm interested in this, partly in my capacity as a citizen, of course. I know that this is a concern of parents, children growing up, they're all concerned about screen time. But also, I should say, as the Secretary of State for Work and Pensions, because we've seen a great rise in mental health problems among young people. That is resulting in a lot of young people claiming long-term sickness benefits, not doing what we'd expect, which is going on to a training place or a job when they leave education. So there is a public policy aspect to this as well as a parental one. So I am interested in it. I think we'll all be watching what has happened in Australia very closely to see how that plays out. And I think everyone wants young people to grow up in the healthiest possible environment. I don't say the government has made a decision on this, but I think we should be looking at this very closely. And we should be always asking ourselves, how can we make sure that young people get the best start in life?